joining us shortly. But just give an update regarding the Kenya Cup. Of course, the Kenya Cup, we have the semi-final playoffs happening later this afternoon, the next 16 minutes, rather. Of course, the big one is KCB against Menengai Oilers. And then there's another big clash happening in Kakamega. That is Kabras facing off against Nondescripts. We'll give you an update on those two fixtures as they progress. But we understand Impala are back in the Kenya Cup. They managed to, of course, triumph in their fixture today. So Impala are back in the Kenya Cup. So that will be interesting to see them back in the where they should be. Ideally, where they were missed. Actually, they're one of those old boys.
Yeah, been around for a while.
Yes, so at least they're back in the Kenya Cup. So that is some good news. And obviously, in the other game, we'll be getting the details to find out whether Daystar managed to triumph in the other fixture, and we'll see whether they'll be also joining them in the Kenya Cup. Daystar Falcons, of course.
Yes,
it's a team that has a very interesting history. I played for them at one particular point. Yes, but. Tulijionea vitu mingi sana, but head coach Bosiri has done fantastic things with that team, the Daystar Falcons. Let's see whether they'll soar into the Kenya Cup once we get the details of their fixture that they were playing earlier in Diani, playing against the South Coast Pirates in Kwale. So we'll see how things transpire in that fixture. But now we were talking about the Harambee Stars, about the tiff between the two players. And before we discuss about it, we understand the lineup is out for the game against Malawi that begins in the next less than 2 hours.
The game has started.
The Kenya
the
Malawi.
Harambee Stars Malawi starts at 6 p.m.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, because Malawi are the host, so they play at 6 p.m. But there is another game that is underway, started at 3 p.m. Zambia against Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Yes, and the lineups are out. Zimbabwe has Donovan Funga in goal, Teenage Lingani, John Gerald Tungambarai, Munashe Peter, Andrew Farai, Jordan Behemita, Mashol Nyasha, Walter Tatenda, Filana Tinotenda, Molin Miles, and Daniel Msendani. And then, of course, Zambia also have Martin Mapisa, Joy Mputi, Shane Maporoza, Jalai Emmanuel, Moyo, Kevin, Lunga, Divine, and Peter Mudua. So this game is under. Remember, it's a 4-team tournament starting on the semi-final phase. So Zambia, Zimbabwe, only one team will qualify to the final to play the winner between Kenya and Malawi. And then the winners of these semi-finals will get to the final, and the losers will play in the third playoff. But they are very good token of appreciation there from Malawi president hosted the 4 teams for a dinner last evening to just welcome them to Malawi. I thought that was such a good gesture from the Malawi president, who is an Arsenal fan and also a pastor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's wondering about the Kenya Cup promotion
criteria,
right now for the championship, it's basically simple. Masinde Muliro are facing off against Impala, so Impala won that fixture and they're through to the final. So it is the top 2 teams. The KRE Championship, the ones who are being promoted
to the finale.
So Daystar Falcons, I am getting an update right now. I understand it is advantage hosts the South Coast Pirates. I think if they qualify and reach the final, and if now meaning they have progressed to they have gone up. They've been promoted to the Kenya Cup. They're currently leading. They're currently leading 13-3, and that's what I'm getting the details in Kwale, South Coast Pirates.
They're en route. They're on
course.
1
foot. They're 1 foot unless anything happens. I'm just following the proceedings. So the game is being played in Diani. So it's advantage South Coast Pirates. But obviously the eyes will be focused on the 2 other big games for the Kenya Cup. But we'll be getting more details as it progresses. So back to the tiff that we touched on earlier. And it seems this is not it's not unique to Kenya. It's happened before.
It's something that probably
is
unavoidable. But I just wanted also to comment on it and thought for the 2 players to be dropped from the traveling party must have been something more than the thief, probably not apologizing, or it must be something that really went overboard. For the coach to say probably the discipline of these 2 players is not something I can tolerate heading into such a very important assignment. And as you rightly put it, the World Cup qualifiers coming up, the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers coming up. I really need a squad, an arsenal that I can rely on, both discipline-wise and otherwise, heading into these matches.
Right. Sadio Mane and his rival Mane. Sane and Mane. So
at
Bayern.
Yes.
What happened?
Walishikana mashati, but somehow it was Mane who was really blamed for this.
Yes.
Mane apparently had batted according to media reports. He apologized later, so basically he confirmed there was an altercation. He had batted Sane, and you remember Sane had a very big swollen mouth there.
Yes,
after,
a bus clip.
Yes, after the event.
Because what they were saying is it was a slap, but I don't think that was a slap. I know there's those competitions for people slapping each other.
After najua pia Mane ni Mwafrika ana mkono imekauka lakini hapana. hiyo nayo wamemwonea. But interestingly, it's later on after Mane had left Bayern, his agent came up with another version of events and said Mane reacted to something Sané told him, something about
it was something that had racial connotations.
Yes, but Sané has never responded to that, so it's just a one-sided story.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic nasikia kuna wakati karibu washikane mashati na Oguchi Onyewu. That time Ibrahimovic was playing for AC Milan and Oguchi Onyewu was a loanee at Newcastle United. What happened?
Those two also probably had some issue there. Normal stuff on
normal walipigana. Nani alimkula hedi? Ibrahimovic alimkula hedi. They really got at it. So that one, I think I'm interested in finding out what transpired. So that's just one of another one that apparently happened at one particular point. It was during the training session. So Drinkwater, Danny Drinkwater seemed to have got into a bit of a kerfuffle.
Full scuffle.
Na Jota.
Diego Jota now at Liverpool.
Sasa anasikia alimkula headbutt ni kitu nini?
Headbutt ndio
ama watu walionanga nini? Walionanga
headbutt ni ngumi ya kichwa. Not funny.
Kwalimwa. Najua
Sisi saidiwa.
The one that was very surprised was when Hugo Lloris apparently had an issue with Son.
With Son, yes. In that, I think there's a game Tottenham were just not up to it. And then they went to the dressing room. That day the cameras were in the dressing room because there was a documentary that was being shot.
Yes.
And they just went for each other. The then coach Jose Mourinho tried to stop it. He failed.